In sub-Saharan Africa, mathematics is traditionally viewed as a hard or difficult subject reserved for the elite. As a result, many fear mathematics. A 2012 survey in 34 sub-Saharan countries showed that almost 6 out of 10 15 to 16-year-olds fear mathematics classes. It's no wonder then that most learners in sub-Saharan Africa perform far below the international average. In Uganda, for instance, only 2% of students could solve a simple age-appropriate mathematics problem by the end of primary 4, and less than half of primary 6 students pass their English literacy and numeracy exams. Most teachers in Uganda lack basic subject knowledge and effective teaching skills. For example, only 21% of grade 4 math teachers could compare fractions, and 25% could assess students' abilities. In rural and disadvantaged areas, teaching mathematics is further compromised by poor physical conditions in schools, inadequate teaching and learning materials, and a shortage of well-qualified and trained teachers. The challenge has also been aggravated by a recent influx of 1.2 million refugees, many of whom are children of school-going age. The World Bank estimates that children born in Uganda today can only be 38% as productive when they grow up due to limited access to quality education and the reality that the curriculum does not meet the needs of all children. For disadvantaged children, including girls, the disabled, children living in poverty or war-torn and emergency settings, it is often a struggle to understand the subject. Yet, mathematics is useful in everyday life, from walking, cooking to shopping and playing. It is the language for logic, an engine for innovation and the foundation for problem-solving and critical thinking skills. It is one of the cornerstones of a career and a livelihood. Rutindo, a community-based organization in Western Uganda, is working on a solution. We run a local school with 250 children, and we are using innovative teaching techniques to improve our children's literacy and numeracy skills. We believe that education is a collaborative process between home, school, and the community, and we nurture this three-way partnership. An award-winning and unique intervention, the Math Plus Culture Project, is improving students' attitude to math by training teachers to integrate local culture into the teaching of mathematics. The importance of using locally available materials in the teaching of math has been revealed in findings from 15 years of research into mathematics education in rural settings. Even if they are not going to school, children in rural East Africa make culture-related objects and items. Many of these cultural practices, crafts and trades are intrinsically very mathematical. For example, culture dances, hair braiding, mat making, basket weaving, tablecloth knitting, and the making of dolls and bowls. Rutindo's unique approach involves local teachers and children in a process of scouting around their homes and environment to identify cultural objects and creatively linking them to mathematical concepts. Over the last year, with support from Australian Aid, Rutindo worked with stakeholders including teachers, parents, teacher trainers, children community leaders, Ministry of Education officials and academics to analyze the challenges and the strategies to improve the teaching of mathematics. We then trained teachers on how to use more interactive teaching methods. 30 teachers across 4 schools were trained in piloting these new interactive and innovative teaching methods, which has helped improve the numeracy skills of over 1,042 primary school students. One of the teachers, Mr. Kato, shared how he once assessed his math class as a whole rather than identifying individual learners, and as a result, weaker students were getting left behind.
I used only to assess learners maybe at the end of the term, at the end of the month, randomly the whole class without selecting individuals. So the weak learners were being left behind without them doing what? Understanding math. Not only that one, personally I used to be very harsh to my learners whenever I was teaching them math.
Before Rutindo project came in last year, where it is like teaching was just mathematics, talk and chalk, whereby a teacher picks the textbook and begins illustrating the examples without involving the children in either group or what. And then finally, activities are given to the children.
We use zeros, whereby we could draw zeros on the blackboard so that children can count and add from the blackboard. And more so, we use the canes so as to make these children understand mathematics. We could enter the class with a cane so that you can make them understand. But after doing all this, children had negative attitude towards mathematics, whereby even if we gave them exercises, they used to get zeros. So they were hating mathematics. And more so, even we teachers, we didn't like mathematics because of poor performance of the children.
When the routine of project came in, it started by training teachers and involving children in doing some activities, and some children also were gifted. Like last year, some children were given some gifts, like bags.
They took us for trainings in workshops.
It helped me to realize my mistakes and begin teaching math well. How? Catering for learners individually, helping them to solve problems.
We were taught the new methods of teaching mathematics. Here, we were taught that we are supposed to use demonstration by use of artifacts like the counters, bottle tops, straws, the stones, or leaves, and others. So they are children. Now they can understand mathematics better. More so, these methods were demonstration method, again group work, whereby all learners are involved in the teaching and learning of mathematics.
It was a day when I came with the dice in the class, tossing in order to get the probability on a dice. Learners were so happy in getting the probability on a dice. That's the lesson which I remember teaching using that learning aid, and learners understood well, up to date.
I myself, I also felt that it has changed my life. I feel loving math more, and I feel the relationship between me and the children is increasing. I no longer teach children at a gun point. I don't use sticks. So I just guide each learner when it is time for group work. I like that, and then I am able to identify the learner who needs more help.
The great advantage which I have realized in the project 1, I came to realize that when you use visual learning aids, teaching and learning process is always amazing. And when I started doing that always, my learners started understanding well.
As a result of Rutindo's support, school attendance has increased and learners find lessons to be fun and interactive. The children are now more active, lively and inquisitive. Math grades have improved in 3 out of 4 schools that Rutindo supported. Teaching methods have improved and are being replicated in other subjects such as science by some teachers. Children with disabilities are able to interact during lessons because of the use of local and familiar learning aids, and more girls are included and interested in learning because of the application of mathematics to domestic objects and games. Most important of all, we continue to notice a positive change in children's attitudes towards mathematics. We have also learned some lessons along the way. For instance, many teachers seem to be more focused on the performance of their students in exams instead of ensuring that their students understand mathematics. Parents and guardians are also major influencers on children's attitudes towards mathematics and the process of learning it. We believe that there is still a lot of work to be done to improve the way math is delivered to children, and we are working to spread this revolution across the region. To find out more or partner with Rutindo, contact us at www.rutindo.com.